My girlfriend suddenly screamed and said, "Why are you always following me around, wanting to know where I am?" She said this even though I had only asked about her evening plans. I replied, "Maybe you're right." So I stopped asking, and I stopped sharing my location too. Without telling her, I flew to Vegas, and what happened next was truly shocking for her. I'm 29, work in software sales, and I'd been dating Brianna for 2 years. We lived together in a decent apartment in Denver. Things were good, or at least I thought they were, until about 3 months ago when she started acting different. We used to share everything. Our calendars were synced. We had each other's locations on our phones, and we'd text throughout the day about random stuff. It wasn't controlling, it was just us. We liked being close. Then suddenly, she turned off her location sharing. When I asked about it, she said her phone was glitchy and she'd fix it later. She never did. The real blow-up happened on a Tuesday evening. I was making dinner and asked, "Hey, what time do you think you'll be home from your yoga class tonight?" She was in the bedroom, and I heard her footsteps stop. Then she came storming into the kitchen. "Why are you always following me around, wanting to know where I am? It's suffocating, Trevor. I can't breathe in this relationship anymore." I just stood there with a spatula in my hand, genuinely confused. I asked about yoga. "That's it." "No, it's constant. You always need to know where I am, what I'm doing, who I'm with." "I'm not a child." "Brianna," I asked one question about dinner timing. She crossed her arms. "Maybe you're right to be worried. Maybe I do need space." I turned off the stove. Something was wrong, but I couldn't figure out what. "Okay, you want space? You got it." That night, she went to yoga and came home at 11. I didn't ask where she'd been. The next morning, I disabled my location sharing without mentioning it. If she noticed, she didn't say anything. Over the next week, I tested something. I stopped asking about her schedule entirely. I didn't text her during the day except to respond to her messages. I didn't ask about her evening plans or weekend activities. I became a polite roommate, and she seemed relieved. That's when I knew something was seriously off. A healthy partner doesn't celebrate emotional distance. My friend Aaron noticed I was distracted during our weekly basketball game. "You good, man? You've missed like 6 layups." Brianna's being weird. Accused me of being controlling for asking basic questions. He stopped dribbling. "That's projection, dude. Classic cheater behavior." "She's not cheating. Then why is she acting guilty?" I didn't have an answer. That weekend, Brianna announced she was going to a work retreat in Santa Fe for 4 days. She worked in marketing for an outdoor gear company, and retreats weren't unusual. But something about the way she mentioned it, casual, almost too casual, made my stomach turn. "When do you leave?" "Thursday morning. I'll be back Sunday night." "Cool. Have fun." She looked at me like she expected more questions. When none came, she seemed almost disappointed. The next few days were strange. She'd come home and tell me elaborate stories about what sessions they were planning for the retreat. Team building exercises, marketing strategy workshops, a guest speaker from some tech startup. The detail felt excessive, like she was trying too hard to make it sound real. Wednesday night, I made a decision. I called Aaron. "How would you feel about a last-minute Vegas trip?" "I'm listening. Thursday through Sunday. I need to get out of my head." "I'm in." "But dude, if you're doing this because of her." "I'm doing this for me. I need to remember what it feels like to not walk on eggshells." We booked flights that night. Thursday morning, Brianna left for her retreat at 6. She kissed my forehead like everything was normal, grabbed her overnight bag, and walked out. I left for the airport at 8. I didn't tell her. Why would I? She'd made it clear she didn't want me knowing her whereabouts. Seemed fair to return the favor. Vegas was exactly what I needed. Aaron and I hit the blackjack tables, saw a comedy show, ate at overpriced steakhouses, and I didn't think about Brianna for hours at a time. My phone stayed in my pocket most of Friday. When I finally checked it Friday night around 9, I had 7 missed calls from her and a string of texts. "Hey, how's your day? You're being quiet. Everything okay? Trevor, where are you? Why aren't you answering? I can't see your location. Did something happen? Trevor, I'm getting worried. Please respond. This isn't funny. Call me." I showed Aaron. He laughed so hard he nearly choked on his beer. Oh man, the irony. She literally can't handle what she dished out. I texted back simply, "I'm fine. Enjoying some space. Talk Sunday." My phone rang immediately. I declined the call. She called again. Declined. Then came a text. "Where are you?" I turned my phone off and ordered another drink. Saturday was even better. We pooled at the Cosmopolitan, and I felt lighter than I had in months. The sun was warm, the drinks were cold, and for the first time in weeks, I wasn't analyzing every word I said or worried about setting off another explosion. That evening, I turned my phone back on to find 23 missed calls and a voicemail. Her voice was shaking. "Trevor, please. I don't understand what's happening. I called your office, and they said you took personal days. I called your mom, and she doesn't know where you are. I'm freaking out. Please just tell me you're safe." Aaron raised an eyebrow. "That's a lot of panic for someone who wanted space." "Right. And she called your office? That's intense." I felt a small stab of guilt, but pushed it away. I told her I was fine. That should have been enough. I called her back. She answered before the first ring finished. "Trevor. Oh my God, where have you been? I've been losing my mind." "I'm fine, Brianna. Just taking some time for myself." "Time for yourself? What does that mean? Where are you? Does it matter?" Silence. Then, quietly, "Yes. Yes, it matters." "Interesting. Because last week you told me asking where you were was suffocating." "That's not. This is different. You just disappeared." "No. I told you I was fine and that we'd talk Sunday. That's more than you gave me." "Trevor, please. This isn't fair." "Fair? You turned off your location, blew up at me for asking a simple question, and demanded space. I'm giving you exactly what you asked for. But I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for you to vanish. I didn't vanish. I'm an adult taking a trip. You'd know where I was if you actually cared about communication instead of using privacy as a weapon." Her breath hitched. "Where are you?" "I'll see you Sunday night. Enjoy your retreat." I hung up. My hands were shaking, but it felt good. It felt like finally standing up after being pushed down. Sunday morning, Aaron and I flew back to Denver. I got home around 7 p.m. Brianna's car was in the parking lot, which surprised me. Wasn't she supposed to be returning from Santa Fe around the same time? I walked into the apartment, and she was sitting on the couch, clearly having been crying. Her eyes were red and puffy, and she had tissues wadded up next to her. She stood up immediately. "Where were you?" I set down my bag. "Vegas." Her face went pale. "Vegas? For 3 days? With who?" "Aaron. You went to Vegas and didn't tell me?" "I did tell you. I said I was taking time for myself and that I was fine." "That's not the same as saying you left the state." I walked to the kitchen and poured water. "You're right. I should have been more specific. Kind of like how you should have been more specific about your work retreat." She froze. "What? Your work retreat? In Santa Fe? Except I checked your company's Instagram on Friday night when I was bored, and they posted about the office team building event happening here in Denver on Thursday. With photos. Weird, right?" The color drained from her face completely. "Where were you really, Brianna?" She opened her mouth, closed it, then sat back down heavily. "I can explain. I'm sure you can. I was in Boulder. With some friends. We rented a cabin." "What friends?" She hesitated, picking at the tissue in her hands. "People from my hiking group." "Names. Why does that matter?" "Because you lied to me. Because you accused me of being controlling for asking basic questions while you were literally fabricating business trips." "Names, Brianna. Kyle, Jennifer, and Brad." My stomach dropped. "Brad. The same Brad you said was just a hiking buddy 6 months ago? The same Brad who texts you at weird hours?" She stood up again. "Nothing happened. We're just friends." "Then why lie?" "Because you'd make it weird. You'd ask a million questions and get jealous. I asked you one question about yoga and you exploded on me. Don't project your guilt onto me." She started crying harder. "I knew you'd react like this." "React like what? Like someone who just discovered his girlfriend has been lying and gaslighting him?" "Yeah, Brianna, I'm reacting pretty normally. I needed space. I needed to figure out if this relationship is what I want." The words hit like a physical blow. I set down my water glass carefully. "And you couldn't just say that? You had to lie, turn off your location, accuse me of being controlling, and sneak off with another guy?" "It's not like that." "What's it like then? Explain it to me." She wiped her eyes, mascara streaking down her cheeks. "Brad and I have been talking more. He understands me. He doesn't ask where I am every second of the day. Because he's not your boyfriend. Because he has no investment in your well-being or your relationship. It's easy to be the fun guy with no responsibilities. He makes me feel free. And I make you feel what? Trapped? Because I care about you? Because I wanted us to stay connected?" She looked at the floor. "Sometimes. The honesty stung more than the lies. So you've been emotionally involved with him for months, pulling away from me, creating fights to justify your distance, and then lying about where you were so you could spend a long weekend with him in a romantic cabin. It wasn't romantic. Stop. Just stop lying. She collapsed back onto the couch, sobbing. I don't know what I want anymore. I grabbed my bag from where I dropped it. Then figure it out. But you're going to do it without me as your backup plan. Trevor, wait. No. You wanted space to figure out what you want. I'm giving you all the space you need. Figure it out. Where are you going? To Aaron's. And Brianna? Lose my number until you know what you actually want. I'm done being your safety net while you explore other options. I walked out and didn't look back. Update 1. I stayed at Aaron's for a week. Brianna texted constantly at first. Apologies, explanations, promises that nothing physical happened with Brad. I responded once. Even if that's true, you lied to me, gaslit me, and emotionally checked out of our relationship. That's enough. After that, I stopped responding. My mom called me Thursday. Brianna contacted me. She's devastated. She should be. She blew up our relationship. She says she made a mistake. That she got confused. She made a series of calculated decisions, Mom. That's different than a mistake. She planned a fake work trip, turned off her location weeks ago, and started fights to make me seem controlling so she could justify what she was doing. That's fair, honey. I'm just letting you know she reached out. I told her you needed space. Thanks, Mom. Aaron's girlfriend, Lisa, came over that weekend. She'd heard the whole story. For what it's worth, you handled it perfectly. She wanted to see if the grass was greener and keep you as a backup. You called her bluff. I didn't call anything. I just stopped playing the game. Exactly. That's why she's panicking now. The following week, I went back to the apartment when she was at work and packed my essentials. I left a note. I'll be back for the rest of my stuff next week. We need to figure out the lease. She called immediately. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail. Trevor, please. Can we just talk face to face? I know I messed up. I ended things with Brad completely. I blocked his number. Please, just give me a chance to explain everything. I deleted it. Update 2. 2 weeks after Vegas, we finally met at a coffee shop to talk logistics. She looked exhausted, dark circles under her eyes, hair pulled back messily, no makeup. I ended things with Brad. Nothing physical happened, but I ended it anyway. I told him I was confused and that I'd made a huge mistake. Okay. Trevor, I'm sorry. I was confused and I handled everything wrong. I got caught up in the attention and the excitement of someone new, and I convinced myself that our relationship was the problem when really, I was the problem. You're right. You did. Can we try again? Maybe therapy? I'll do whatever it takes. I stirred my coffee slowly, watching the cream swirl. Brianna, you didn't just cheat or make one bad choice. You systematically lied, accused me of things I wasn't doing, and created an entire false narrative to justify pulling away. That's not something therapy fixes. That's a character issue. So that's it. 2 years gone. You made that decision in Boulder. I'm just accepting it. She started crying again, quieter this time. I love you. I know I don't deserve another chance, but I love you. Maybe you do. But love isn't enough when there's no trust. And I don't trust you anymore. I felt bad, but I also felt clear. This was the right choice. I hope you find what you're looking for. I really do. But it's not me. And frankly, I deserve better than someone who needs to lose me to realize what they had. Trevor, the lease is up in 3 months. I'll keep paying my half until then, but I'm staying with Aaron. After that, it's all yours or you can find someone else to take it over. I left cash for both our coffees and walked out. 3 months later, I'm in a new apartment with a roommate from work, and I'm doing okay. Better than okay, actually. I'm dating casually, focusing on work, and I stopped sharing my location with anyone except my mom for emergencies. Brianna texted me last week. I miss you. I was wrong about everything. Brad and I tried dating, and it fell apart immediately. I see now what I lost. I didn't respond. Aaron asked if I felt vindicated. Honestly, I just feel free. She wanted space to figure out what she wanted. Turns out, I needed the same thing. Vegas taught me something important. Sometimes the best response to someone pushing you away is to actually leave. And sometimes, the trash takes itself out. You just have to stop chasing it. The irony isn't lost on me. She accused me of being controlling, but the moment I stopped caring where she was, she lost her mind. That wasn't about me being controlling. That was about her guilt making her paranoid. I'm good now. Really good. and I didn't have to compromise my self-respect to get here.